Welcome back, folks. If you're just tuning in or you're watching the VOD, you've tuned in at the right time. It's the grand finals for the first monthly finals, 2018's Olimoleague. This, of course, is going to be a best of 7. Score will always be displayed down here in the bottom left by the mini-map. Let's hop into it. To the top left side, playing for Root Gaming. He's the best damn protest there is. Or maybe it's Zest. Either way, this is Root herO.
In the bottom right, as the red Terran, probably the best Terran, it is INnoVation.
All right, INnoVation just came off of a really excellent series, but so did herO. Both of these guys floored their opponents in the semifinals.
Yeah, this is really an amazing matchup to have as the finals. INnoVation has not gotten to the final time. He's not even played in some of the Olimoleague, so while this could have happened beforehand, it hasn't in a while. Really, the best Terran versus the best Protoss, with Zest being, that close contender, and maybe the best, but pretty close.
I'm actually really glad we didn't see INnoVation before this, though. Not because I was happy to see INnoVation lose, don't misunderstand me, guys, but I feel like the last patch, we would not have seen INnoVation at its best. Now the patch has come through, there's been tweaks. I can't say for certain whether it's better or worse than where it was before. Again, it's barely a day old, the patch. But I think we're going to see a better INnoVation than we would have on the old patch. That much is for certain.
That's like almost a guarantee, just because the nature of the patch was to give Terran a little bit more and take away a little bit from the Protoss. So it's like, yeah, of course, Terran should always be better, but I get what you mean.
It's weird, though, because I think I obviously think about the Stalker more than any other part of what's been tweaked in the matchup, and the Stalker was neither really buffed nor nerfed. It was like side graded, and that's what makes me hesitant to say like big changes or not, right? Obviously Terran Raven, blah blah blah, but the Stalker, which has been the core component of I think a lot of frustration, the mini immortal as it were.
Yeah, again, that has always been the case. They've always had the DPS, and it just. That's what when it first was released, 4.0. Oh my god, stupid probe. INnoVation's like
the Reaper went for it too.
Probe, by the way, like he wanted to find it.
Recall it.
When it first was released,
recall it. Do it.
I thought like, what could a Stalker like weird side grade, as you put it, do really? And it turned out to be a lot. So time will tell for this one. But herO opening up a Stargate. INnoVation is not able to scout. First of all, seeing about square would be difficult in the first place, and then second of all, the Reaper had to go back to the probe.
How did that grenade reach? Terran Imba.
INnoVation magic.
Okay, so the Adepticus cleanup. This is really nice. He didn't, I think, confirm the third base either, which is great. This means INnoVation gets away with the third CC against a player who's on Stargate. Not terrible, but this is a nice thing for INnoVation to get away with. Also, just before the game picks up, guys, I really want to address this because it's been asked a lot in chat. As far as replay packs go, if you guys are subbed to BaseTradeTV, we send out replay packs for everything we do, with the exception of the Olimoleague. You can only get replay packs for the Olimoleague, so players like this, the Grand Finals, by supporting the Patreon for as little as like $2 a month. For us, on our channel, though, everything else, whether we're doing BTSL, you name it, we send them out to the subs almost every cast. So there hasn't been a lot going on in January, to be honest. I wouldn't even say if you're going to sub, that'd be the primary reason to do it. But come February, guys, we're going to have so many replay packs going out. So save up those dollar bills. Get those Subway gift cards, whatever you got to use. February's the date to use them.
It is so weird they take gift cards now.
Also, I don't know whether anyone actually uses it or not. I know we've been asked multiple times over years. I finally put a Bitcoin thing in our info section.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone is able to has Bitcoin to spare to test it, but that's brand new as well, FYI.
Wow. So eventually herO got the full scout that he was missing earlier on, and INnoVation's build worked out well against the target opener because you do get the fast +1, and if you just automatically build missile turrets, then you're good to go, which he did. So a very minimal amount of SCVs died to the oracles, and INnoVation is coming along here with his build. But herO, by going for this Stargate opener, went for what is one of the oldest ways to play PvT. Really fast third base into Robo, Twilight Council, Forge. Usually this is punished by something or another. Twilight openers are just better, but in this case, I think it worked out really well for what INnoVation chose to do.
Well, you know what? It's great that he took the third base where he did as well. INnoVation got away with a very fast third CC, which is nice and brilliant and beautiful, but it was at the lame base with only 4 mineral patches. herO does take his third confidently at the better base, frankly.
Yeah. So he's going to have charge and a bunch of gateways, maybe even a more load out by the time INnoVation is ready to push, because while INnoVation has +1, of course, he's still waiting on medevacs, and those are a couple of chronos away from being done. And the Revelation should see exactly where he's going to go with them. Lots of barracks coming down, as INnoVation is probably not even going to push the first 2 medevacs. Like, why bother? Maybe you drop, but just make sure you can skedaddle away. But more so with the combat shields with the +1 armor and twice as many units with as many medevacs, that's when the push with just bio, but a lot of bio, gets very scary. But to note, to be specific, it is just bio. No Widow Mines coming out here for INnoVation.
Yeah, comment more on that in a moment, but the Void Ray is such an odd thing to see. But this is the ultimate drop deny and Liberator stopper, I guess. So if it's just 1, I can understand herO going for this. If he makes any more than 1, I'm going to be confused.
I don't know if it's like Void Rays have been that ultimate drop deniers you're talking about, but it was always a little questionable because they're so slow. You could sometimes still pass by them and just get this really expensive unit because they weren't paying attention. That does seem to be why he got it.
I mean, I love the idea of it. Oh, that sucks. If INnoVation had any plans to push out and poke, they have just been denied. And unfortunately, you can't heal units in stasis. These units are going to come out stimmed and hurt.
That's pretty funny. Wait, do they have stim when they come out?
No, apparently not.
Hey, that's pretty imba there. Blizzard, please. Warpers have gotten to the main base as well. INnoVation has a to work with, but there's just so many units every which way. And this is getting really complicated.
You force field to the ramp, so I mean, yeah, you can pick up and drop up here, but the Zealots are already getting away with a ton. 16, 17 SCVs go down. The Liberator's trying to protect what few are left, but it can only do so much.
Yeah, and keeping SCVs in one place is still absolutely going to work in favor of the Zealots, who are just chopping them up. Dear God. INnoVation had a ton of units. He could have actually taken this army on if it was all together, and this would have looked so dumb for herO. But instead, he gets caught every which way, and herO takes a really nice economic lead.
This is, I mean, I'm pro herO. This one Protoss player I won't actually find myself balance complaining sarcastically or otherwise against. It's usually herO, because he does a lot of the right things, and he handled that very perfectly. The force field on the ramp was just like the flourish to a disgusting attack, but while this goes on, he's making more Void Rays, which I find really interesting. He's got a cannon, he's got a shield bearer. Like, he is so, I feel, paranoid of a counterattack, but there's none to be had. Not yet, at least.
The second Void Ray is really weird. I mean, there's something to be said about Void Rays against Liberators, which every Terran inevitably tries to get to, Mass Liberator. But that hasn't been an option, legitimate option, since Stalkers were changed, or even before that.
I think part of the key to production, though, is seeing that fleet beacon. Like, he knows Liberator range is going to be there at some point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, a prismatically aligned Void Ray might move slower, but a Liberator sieged up doesn't move at all.
But Tempest, if you can, because Void Rays always also seemed like an emergency reaction. Like, oh my god, I don't have enough Stalkers and I don't have any Tempests. But if you can get the Tempest, then they are the better option. He's going to get there. He's taking the safety 4th. No worries about being dropped on a 5th, and really with these 4 bases, hero's quite well protected. INnoVation has just been cut on momentum. He's supply blocked, so he's picking up as a mechanics. Oh boy.
I just want to address something in chat. As people are asking about the skins, because I guess, yeah, some of the Protoss units look very different, and if you don't watch a lot of StarCraft, you might not be used to it. I only bring this up though because of the, I don't know, I thought it was funny note in the patch notes where they're like, hey guys, the IM Katowice war chest is going to go on sale December 8th. I'm like, oh, cool. That's either a year from now or someone messed up with a copy paste.
Right? You know, we haven't even gotten to talk about all of the changes. We, of course, talked about the Stalker change, because we saw a lot of TVPs, and the Raven change, a lot of TVTs. But we had a PVZ that we didn't talk about, the Adept change, the so-called Stealth nerf. I don't know if that's the right phrase.
I thought it was a buff, wasn't it? The
sorry,
action?
Buff. Yeah, buff. I was thinking, like, is that the right term? A stealth buff is usually something that isn't mentioned. But in this case, it's something that people didn't realize the impact of.
You know, it reminded me a lot of when they changed the hit scan for the stalkers, and suddenly they weren't derping the widow mines anymore, and you realize how big of a deal that was. The adepts, for those who don't know, they changed it so. Oh, it's not about the SCVs that died, it's about the mules that died. Oh my god.
No.
I wish there was like a way to measure the amount of lost mining that just happened, because it would be way too much.
No, that was super sad. But yes, I
mean,
good analogy with the soccer thing.
It was super hype if you're a Protoss player, but we're both Terrans, so give us a moment to lament, guys. F's to pay your respect to the worker line of INnoVation's 4th. But yeah, so those who don't know the change we're alluding to, sorry, because we kind of cut off there. Basically, now when the adept transfers through, it continues its action instead of the awkward stop that it had before. So you can actually kind of preset the way they move.
Yeah. Also, things to talk about: ghosts give their energy back and no longer have automatic cloaking, and we're getting later into TVP, so that's important. And then the Mothership Core recall and the Nexus recall, which we have seen a little bit of, but probably more important in this game, is no longer instant on the return, I believe. Warp-in times increase from 0 seconds to 0.7 seconds.
This carrier army was scouted, so unfortunately INnoVation's going to feel rather bad about the army he currently has. He is swapping over to Vikings. Nobody wants to go Vikings unless they have to, and unfortunately INnoVation is going to have to. The funny thing is, though, he has so many Liberators. Well, I don't think it's the answer, and it never really has been, even when they were better and stronger than they are now. These could help deal with the Interceptors.
There is that weird dynamic for sure, but one thing that INnoVation is absolutely missing, there's no doubt about it, is EMPs. He doesn't have any ghosts whatsoever. There are multiple ways to take on this army, but usually there has to be some way to take care of the storms, and that's either sniping and getting lucky or just EMPing, of course, which is a lot easier.
And of course, that's going right back to reiterate what Zombie ever brought up. Ghosts have enough energy to EMP at a spawn now. It's not that awkward, like, hey, you got cloak and can't do anything.
Let's grab a couple of the High Templars with the forward Liberators. herO, despite having a very good army, it doesn't look that big. So there's a lot of power to it.
It's not actually. A lot of the Interceptors already dead, so the carriers can't even continue forward with their attack.
Yeah. herO might have looked like he kind of poked the bear and is regretting it, but I really don't think that he is. I think always like going forward like that with the High Templar is going to be dangerous now that he's forward with the Tempest, so that's when INnoVation just sits there and is like, I don't know what to do against it.
Yeah. Also got the Void Race here as well, so good luck Liberators getting set up. Good luck Vikings taking any kind of fight. He is going to chase off the Interceptors, though. Marines are very intentionally chasing this and not targeting anything down. It's okay for now, but there's got to be a follow-up. When you kill the Interceptors, you have to be able to pounce, and what's left cannot pounce on these carriers.
Yeah. Certainly a difficult dance for both players. herO has to make sure not to just have all Warren army in a hotkey, because that's when his Immortals and High Templars are going into the Liberator range, and then INnoVation can't just stim in and run forward, because that's when he gets entirely stormed. But herO, in my opinion, has the better army as long as INnoVation doesn't have ghosts. If they were in here, I'd be like, their army's even, and it's all about technical skill.
The Interceptors come in once again, and INnoVation is mowing them down. I mean, Interceptors are not free. They're like, what, half a Marine or something like that to make? Yep.
Actually, what are they now? I don't know.
I think aren't they 35? I could be wrong on this. No, 15. I think way back. No, they're 15. They're nothing. Forget what I said.
Right. I thought they were 25, and I was like, wait, didn't they change them to 15? That's why I brought it up. So yeah.
I guess I thought it went up, not down.
Yeah, well, yeah, whoopsie daisy.
This is still tough, because no matter how INnoVation trades right now, I think he's just going to be beaten back by the eventual Tempest. They get to force a fight. INnoVation is, make no mistake, guys, he's not picking his engagements. He's forced to fight every time. He can't kill the Interceptors. He can't get on top of these Templar. There's no EMPs to be found. And Vikings, well, they've managed to dodge, most of the attack. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Okay. But, I don't know. He's pushing this back, but I don't feel like this is that dangerous for herO.
So, yeah, as long as he has High Templars, I don't think it is. And that is the key. Like, without High Templars, INnoVation has already probably stemmed onto this army and is trading okay. You don't trade perfectly, but you're trading okay for sure. But with Storm, there's not really an opportunity to do that. In fact, I'm quite impressed that INnoVation was able to take the trades that he has without EMPs. That's kind of insane.
Only
but he should
INnoVation,
be on
though,
the losing
man.
end. Yeah,
Only
seriously.
INnoVation.
Yeah, and to a degree, only because herO is kind of being a little sloppy. Like, you can tell his army is mostly on one hotkey. It's not disconnected from each other entirely. There's one all key, you know, like F2 almost, and then there's maybe some other hotkeys, but he has to actually change over to them. So there's been some mistakes on both sides, but INnoVation is absolutely still the one that has to be the one to prove himself, to prove that this army can work without Ghost. And I'm like, can it? Can it, though?
I love the splits. He knows storms are coming. This is not a bad place to engage, though. The way the Templar would have to funnel through the neon violet squares and the zealots as well. It's probably the best place you could hope to fight, but it's still, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Marines from the south side are not flanking. Zealots are destroying the ones on the top side. herO backs away, and INnoVation's supply holds on. But I just can't help but wonder for how long.
You could tell right in that engagement, again, the all hotkey, the sentries would have been really nice for the anti-marine damage, and then they all got killed before they even got a guardian shield. So yeah, herO is pushing in here and trying to end the game without, you know, being 100% full of finesse, but it's working.
If he had been able to keep this planetary alive, it might have been able to help, but unfortunately not the case. The Liberties are dead on arrival, barely siege up, don't even shoot. Excuse me, they got one Templar. He's stimming in, but that's it. GG. Oh, what a game number one. Possibly 6 more to go, but good start for herO. Yeah, as if this is going to go to game 7.
Start. Well, no, it was a great start. The fact that game went on that long was not even happen. It's just because INnoVation turtled and then took miracle trades without ghosts.
Well, yeah, that I'm gonna be right with you, man. No Widow Mines, no ghosts, no real splash damage out of INnoVation was, I think, a core component of why he wasn't gonna take any of those fights. But at the same time, like, yeah, Miracle Engagement is right. He's taking these fights, they're not looking terrible, and he's missing like the most important elements to what he needs.
Yeah, it was really quite amazing. I mean, both players played amazing, so I don't want to be like, well, clearly INnoVation had the better control, but I think if you really looked at that game and you had the hotkeys up on a different overlay, you would probably see that INnoVation had different hotkeys for Marauders, Marines, Vikings, Liberators. Maybe not Medivacs. He had no all-army hotkey because he would constantly have the Marines in the back and the Marauders in the front, and the Vikings moved over to the left. Like, it was not something I could do in 100 years, I'll tell you what.
Things like that are impressive, but I don't feel like you appreciate how impressive they are until you try to do it yourself and realize, wow, like... Yeah.
Well, and like, everyone has their all-army hotkey, right? You do hotkey the other things, but then on one key is everything.
You mean F2 Zombie Grub? My favorite button in the game?
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, why no ghosts is really the question, though. We could talk all day about the mechanics, but why no ghosts?
Well, hop into Blackpink, talk about it more, see you guys in game. Welcome back to the continued best of 7 here for the grand finals of the Olimoleague. $250 for first place, $150 for second. That's what these guys are currently fighting for. Bottom left side, early probe out on the map is so annoying with this early game. It's the blue Protoss herO.
In the top right, as the red Terran, he is INnoVation.
Now, this probe has successfully been annoying to more than one Pro-Terran player.
Yeah.
And already forcing a misplace on the barracks. I mean, this is not that big of a deal, but when it comes to lifting it to put your tech lab or your reactor on, you're just gonna be like, God, the stupid probe.
This is the fastest he's sent out the probe, I think, since the very first game against MMA.
I mean, he does a lot with it. The one thing I think herO's missing from his probe play, if I'm gonna be honest, here I am critiquing probe play, not enough sprays. Spray those GGs, those cheeses, those diva portraits, whatever you gotta do. Let INnoVation know that you were there.
Yeah. Yeah. So INnoVation did do better dealing with this, I think, than MMA did last game. He simply just gave up and said, I'm gonna pull another SCV and keep tail the probe, basically. But even when he did that, he eventually gave up. The probe came back, the Reaper had to come back, the Adept got in, like,
yeah. herO
really had, again, against INnoVation, one of the best Terrans in the world, he had the control from the get-go. Cheeky bugger.
Cheeky bugger's right. Also, yo, down to raise some view bots for Miguel747. Thank you very much for that new sub, dude. Also missed Randos1 for the 10 months. Great work month after month, guys. Keep it up. All those days of waking up at the crack before dawn to keep us entertained and events going. All your hard work is always appreciated. That was a mouthful, but thank you so very much, my dude. As well as Wix2001 came back for 11 months to say, do it!
Do it.
Are Shia LaBeouf memes out of fashion?
I think so, yeah.
Darn, I just bought a bunch of stock. I love the meme economy.
So a lot of people in chat are talking about the late game, but I will really hold off on continuing to evaluate until we get another late game, because I feel like INnoVation's looking at that and going like, okay, 2-base all in, proxy, etc.
I think there's an element to this though, and I say this half jokingly but half seriously, where Terran may not remember how to play late game versus Protoss, because for the last 2 months they've just been dying.
I guess I kind of see what you're talking about. Like, there's been late game TVPs in the last few months, but the late game was mass Stalker, you know, and that would deal with Liberators, so that you didn't have to deal with 15 Liberators. But now that Stalkers probably don't work as well against Liberators anymore, you gotta go in the Tempest, and herO just had ample opportunity to go into Tempests.
Yeah, on that note too, by the way, with the sarcasm or not, you be the judge. I mean, there's the Stalker element to it, but also just like, I don't know, like, we cast a lot of games. We cast more StarCraft 2 at the pro level than anyone else, and I just cannot think of a lot of games where we see, not necessarily late game time-wise, but late game terms of like carriers versus Marines. Like, it doesn't come around that often. So when we start talking about the dynamic of an EMP taking enough shields from the carriers, I feel like even the best Terran player in the world, like INnoVation, doesn't have a lot of those games practiced, prepped, and ready.
I wouldn't know. I'd have to watch his latter games too, but he did have some excellent control of the situation, and the lack of ghosts could have been multiple things. It could have been he never thought he had time, it could have been he never thought he had the economy, or it could have been that he actually thinks that they're really garbage units, I don't know. But 5 probes from this proxy Liberator. Starport proxy did catch herO off guard.
The problem is getting that starport home afterwards is usually the issue, as the Phoenix will give chase, but the Phoenix is going to be caught up dealing with the Liberators, so that starport might actually get to go home. As he runs from base to base, herO's going to keep pulling the probes away, but look at the income graph. I mean, just not mining is plenty of damage in and of itself.
Yeah. And this is a lot of not mining while having a third Nexus. Like, you're supposed to kind of get into the swing of things here, pulling all the, or transferring some probes, chrono boosting the probes. Like, it's all about the economy right now. This is the same build, or very similar build to last game. And I talked about how I liked it for herO. Versus a 2-base Terran, I don't like Stargate openers, though. And I'm curious to see if INnoVation can do anything more besides just proxying Liberator to punish this.
Turret. Nice. Oh, there's a Widowmine hidden there too. Double nice. That would have worked out well had herO actually gone in for it.
Did he recalled those units? Why though?
If I could take on the expression of a mocked Protoss player from it, I've got all this energy. What would you do with it? Might as well, am I right? Burn a couple $100 bills when I'm at it. All the tournament winnings I'm getting from all this extra.
I'm really confused.
No, I agree. I don't know why. I guess maybe he was a little bit worried something, Widowmine was going to pounce, or he's in a bad spot, or I honestly don't know. But Widowmine in the main helps soften up the Adept, so this should be a little bit easier to manage. No stim is why it's taking so long for these Marines to clean this up, but stim's moments away from finishing.
Yeah. This is a surprising amount of damage, I suppose. It's lasting certainly a long time, but 6 of these isn't really that bad. It's more that it's surprising that there's that many Adepts in the first place. Most people are going to charge or blink, and if it is Adept, it's like a 2-base Resident Enclave Adept all in, so that was just weird.
Widowmine's coming out. I really gotta say, like, TY established it for me, and been watching players build on it since. I love watching good Widowmine play. It's probably my favorite thing to watch in TVP, but let's not forget, INnoVation also got caught by stasis traps, similar to what we see now. I know some folks, again, new StarCraft, you don't know what just happened. If any units walk within this, they get trapped, frozen, can't be attacked, but also can't be used for, like, what, 30 seconds or something?
Yeah.
21 seconds.
That was the real killer of INnoVation's game, too. It was that he just had no way of punishing herO because that first push was stopped. But this is a drop, so can't be stasis trapped, and I think it just went entirely, unscouted. There's a couple Phoenixes. That's it.
Oh, he's even unloading in the black. Okay, he does actually see this, though, so not fully unloading in the fog of war, but enough where he gets to burrow the Widow Mines. They'll cover the medevacs, taking on these Zealots before they warp in. Most importantly, make sure they don't splash damage through those Widow Mines.
Yeah.
Does he know about the Widow Mines? Oh, he's losing Oracle. That's
that
not a bad.
Weird.
Second one comes in, gonna go off his Zealots. Oh, picks up the boost, but of course Phoenix in tow means he can't get far. He's gonna lose the contents of his medevac. Oh, right, the Reaper hop-up spot. That's awkward. Marine's stuck.
Marine's awkward. Yeah, there's not enough Marines that the Phoenixes take both medevacs out and they all live. The push at the front, though, can do some damage, but there's 2 shield batteries. There's a couple Widow Mines that are having trouble being taken care of. But I think hero's got it. He's got an upgrade. He's got charge.
If INnoVation puts these Widow Mines here, you just push up through the natural. While this is on a force field, it's going to keep that army back.
Oh, God,
and if it comes in, it could be bad. INnoVation, actually, if he was focus fired on all the Zealots on the bottom, this might not be so difficult to deal with, but he was split with his DPS.
Woo!
But he's got enough units left that still might work. Force fields, they zone out. Widow Mines don't hit much. The Zealot was already dead. Phoenix remain, but that's about it. Is that enough?
That Widow Mine hit on the sentries. It's not enough for INnoVation, though. And INnoVation, to be clear, is 2 base all-inning. He's got to make this work, but he didn't touch the economy. He didn't touch the production. Hero's going to start massing charge lots.
The Phoenix are lifting up what little there is to be had in this army. This is super annoying for INnoVation to have to deal with this level of crowd control, but oh, 102 good Widow Mine shots! Woo!
That is certainly what herO has to be afraid of, is the Widow Mine. I would say even kind of messed up taking that last fight, but the Widow Mines weren't as good as I thought they'd be. They mostly hit like a single Zealot or 2 that was on the front. But usually herO can take care of them, so... Now that he's got time to think and collect himself and get some Archons, I don't know if INnoVation's push.
I just love this poor Marine that was left to die.
Yeah, no high-ground vision. Like, at least it could be doing something if it had that.
This Marine is just popping scans so he can attack with the Marine. I love this dynamic too. Phoenix can't shoot down, Marauders can't shoot up. It's a terrible stalemate to have, but of course the Phoenix can lift things up at the very least.
Every time they pick up a Widow Mine, it is absolutely beautiful for herO, or pick up a medevac, but Widow Mines taken out of the equation are so good for herO. Doesn't quite find them, and there's not that big of an army. Oh, but all the...
Not all the Widow Mines, most of them. Does he reburrow the ones that drop? No, only one goes down. Decent pop-off. Now get the Marines dance with what's left. They've got 1-1. The Protoss army's only on +1 armor, but the Zealots are so good. Charge dealing 8 damage every time he connects.
The charge lots coming from behind was quite amazing. There's no lie about that. I think INnoVation was surprised. But they still got a couple Widow Mines. There's a Guardian Shield. There's an Archon. There's still Phoenixes. How has it not died?
That Widow Mine was so good. All these Zealots are like on their last legs, but it's good enough as they use those legs to charge forward. More damage dealt to INnoVation's army, but going back on a point you just made, INnoVation has to make this work off 2 bases, and herO just is finishing +2 armor, making this even more difficult to make happen. As we're watching these Zealots barely not die before, they're gonna even barely not die more.
I was talking about how in the world the Phoenix is still alive, but that's not true. They're just being made at a consistent rate. So more Widow Mines pop off and grab quite a lot of units. He's being backed into a corner, and the medevacs aren't able to heal. Now they're just dying.
I think that's it, man. His momentum's gone. These Widow Mines have not gotten the god mode amazing hits they needed to make this game happen. GG. herO with a 2-0 lead, leading in a good way, in a good spot with a lot of power. We'll see what happens in game number 3, but we are going to go to a commercial break. Before we do, big thank you to Sean DeWolf, 11 for the 100 bits. I feel dirty rooting for Protoss against Terran, but still, root for root. As well as Nothing Man 32. Thank you for the 35-month resub. Hey, this is really cool. Someone actually sent some Bitcoin. Well, someone did, and the other person's a dick. We'll talk about this in a second. Let's get the intros done, because of course he's down 2 games at the moment. In the top left, we have the red Terran, INnoVation.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it is herO.
But yeah, I don't have like a stream alerts thing, so I don't want to read out your real names for this. But someone sent 0.00085 Bitcoin, which is apparently worth 11 bucks. So that's kind of cool. Thank you very much to the kind soul who did that. And then someone else sent 0.00001 Bitcoin, which is worth apparently 10 cents. I'll take it. Thank you very much. I think the transaction fee on that's going to be more costly than the amount you sent, but thank you very much. That's cool to see that the Bitcoin thing actually works, though, because I wasn't sure about that. So, neat.
All right, then.
Also, got to get to viewbot mode, guys. Hang on. Where's the, here we go. Another viewbot has upgraded. Aberration 101. Thank you for your Prime sub.
You really do sound like the guy from Omega Virus.
What's Omega Virus?
There was an old board game where you had a computer that you would like occasionally press stuff into, and then it was the Omega Virus was the enemy. So occasionally the Omega Virus would come in and screw you over and be like, "I attacked blue, ha ha ha."
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Roger, Roger.
Yeah, or that.
That's kind of, I was going for the droid thing. Actually, that's what I was doing in PUBG yesterday. I was just like shouting out like, "Where the Jedi? Kill the Jedi."
What's funny though is that yours is a little too various. I think that.
Well, it's like a stock thing. This is like,
I know,
I'm not gonna pretend like I
like,
bought something.
I don't think I really realized how funny the droid voices were until you compared them to some like more like evil sounding robot voices.
There's some terrifying settings on this too, and there's some really weird ones. But actually, real quick, I'm gonna recall you on Discord. It's gonna be about that time, so one sec. Sorry guys, happens once in a while. Audio starts cutting out, but then we all Gucci with a quick reset. Welcome back.
Hello. So okay, we have different openers here. Same probe harassment, but Twilight Council for Heroes instead of Stargate. INnoVation goes for 111. That's fine. But I see, oh man, chat is probably the most whiny, salty I've seen it in quite some time. And I feel like we haven't even instigated anything as casters.
I know, not like 99%. It's you doing something and me getting blamed for it, right? And then chat gets mad at both of us. But memes aside, what? That was the worst. Why would? Okay. Anyways,
what's that easy?
I'm okay with this type of salt though, because what I think is interesting, you do really have the two of the best players playing a very controversial match after the new patch. I think I like seeing this kind of arguing just because it does say like, hey, there's some passion left in these fans. They're not all silent viewers. I know that that's me being too positive and silver lining it, but that's kind of that's how I'm taking it, at least.
Game paused.
I suppose so. Like I don't mind it. I feel like there was this period only a week ago where we would mention that Terran was having trouble, and everyone would be like, "Oh my god, the Terran bias is so real. Protoss is fine, you guys. Jesus, stop complaining." And then I'm watching this game where we're doing nothing but appreciating how good herO is, and all the chat is, "Oh my god, Protoss is so broken, Jesus Christ." It's like, okay. Where were you guys a week ago?
I'm so jaded on that though, because I will be the first person to legitimately complain or even sarcastically complain about Protoss, but I really feel this is herO being broken more than Protoss being broken, and whatever degree of balance you feel for Protoss is like fries on the side. Here's the burger.
Yeah. I agree. I really do. herO just looks so stupidly abusive, and he always has. So I'm assuming though that INnoVation has been complaining this entire time because every lobby has had a lot of discussion, and herO responds to most things with laughing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with the pause. Hopefully this gets fixed. But someone in chat says, "Rifkin, I love you, man, but please stop with the voices."
Okay, buddy, you got it.
Oh, Jesus. No. Oh, but can you sing, No. Oh, no. What was the... So in Kodo Tag, there was the Warcraft 3 game, Kodo Tag. There's a version that had a sped-up squirrel chipmunk sounding edition of In the End, I think, from Linkin Park.
Oh man, no, they got that in Run Zergling Run and stuff too.
Oh, yeah?
For the custom apps. Play it on like 10 times speed.
You should do that.
I can't feel the wind. Okay, anyways. Soccer attack coming in. Marines are not wanting to take this fight.
Yeah, this is really bad. herO is being aggressive here. He's putting down a pylon. Thank God INnoVation doesn't try and play stupid basically and not build a bunker, because that would be a really stupid idea. His tank will cover him too, but this is such the safer option. Oh, and he got 10 probes with the Winter Mine drop.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it slipped out. We're so busy focusing on this, and I think herO was too. So INnoVation popping off 10 workers? Oh, that feels good for some Terran retribution.
Yeah, and he had to warp in stalkers over here as opposed to offensive, so now the timing is really gone. Bunker and tank. I don't think he was going to break that. He didn't go for a third Nexus. I thought he did. I saw 2 Forge. I assumed third Nexus, but he didn't. And I don't know if the upgrades are going to be... Well, they're always good, don't get me wrong, but I think that a third Chrono Boost and more probes would be better.
I just don't... Was it medevac? Yeah, I guess it was medevac. I'm just like, how did he get those in there? We didn't see that at all.
He did a medevac drop, but that was what we were talking about, chat. Or medevac build.
Well, I think that if we're going to follow the course of chat today, herO could take 10 probe losses and still win this game. Easily.
Well, I don't even balance complain say 100% yes if there's a third Nexus. That just is the way that it's been.
I'm just feeding into chat. I'm just being an instigator, frankly, but I would like to note that while we do have all these upgrades going on, herO has saved up a lot of energy. He's not actually chronoing anything. So he's not feeling too urgent to get any of this out. Like, no, like at least the armor or something. There we go. Now the chronos come in.
Saving it for those recalls he's been doing, man. Don't worry about it.
Do you remember the recalls he's been doing?
I do recall his recalls. So, what is nice about herO not going for the third Nexus is that he absolutely knows where INnoVation's going to push. And he does have, obviously, all this tech, even though he doesn't have an economy to necessarily get an overwhelming amount of units. So, not the usual way we see 2 base all-in versus the Protoss, but it is 2 base all-in versus 2 base Protoss. What ends up going better?
Stalkers are, they did a great job just kind of poking off, and another Marauder goes down. This is some nice shaving off of INnoVation's army, but can he shave himself now when it comes to the main fight? There's just not that much army for herO to fight with.
Did you go Sean Connery on that?
Yes, it was a play on words.
I was like, I don't know, maybe he's like 11 and first learning to shave.
Got some facial hair he's got to take care of before he can take care of the fight. Guardian Shield helps reduce a lot of damage. Nice pick up on the War Prism, keeps those Archons alive. I mean, he got to the back of them. He took out the meaty things. There's like that Widowmine's on cooldown. There's only 1 tank. This is looking a lot more doable for herO, but that army deficit is still a big problem.
You'd think 30 army supply is good enough.
I think versus Zerg you could see this being doable, but versus Terran, I don't know.
This wasn't even the best that I think herO could do, honestly. It was pretty good, but I thought herO was going to come from behind with the Warp Prism and force the tank to shoot elsewhere. And then I thought he was going to micro with the Warp Prism further, but no, wasn't able to do it, basically. And I think INnoVation's got this game.
Yeah, I love the control. He actually target fired the Widow Mines, but nice pickup on the Warp Prism helps dodge the shots.
Hell yeah, that's the Warp Prism micro I was talking about. That's what herO does to get back in these really silly, close situations.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out our clip section, sort by all time. One of our all-time clips is herO, Warp Prism, Micro, and Colossus, and like just never letting them die. It's insane. Another good pickup. Saves 4 Zealots there. That should have been a dead cluster of units, and this guy is starting to make this look doable from this position.
Every stim really does hurt, though. He just double stimmed there. Oh, the medevac pickup was really dangerous, but there was only 3 stalkers, so it does end up working out. Now the front line might be where it's vulnerable as he pulls to the back, pulls to his main base.
That's a risky click, to say the least. INnoVation, though, gets probes. He gets more damage. He draws the army out of position as Widow Mines walk into the natural and then don't do anything because he's microing into main, and it's understandable, but just burn out this Widow Mines, man!
Well, I thought this was going to be the really big opener, but now herO can pay attention, so he does Just micro with the probes, nicely done. Counter micro from INnoVation, however. INnoVation was 2-base all inning. He takes the time to throw down a third CC, and I think that is the better option. He was dangerously close to just committing too hard and getting countered with a Warp Prism. Now, pulling back, extending his economic lead, I think herO can't come back. I think he's just dead.
And INnoVation's actually going for ghosts. The coup de
Hey,
grace.
hey. Not in a 17-minute game, but a 10-minute game. All right, whatever.
Some of that salt's overflowing from chat and reaching zombie up. Jeez.
Well. herO is going to try and do something about what he assumes is a macro game, right? There's no more pressure. It's got to be because INnoVation set down a third CC. And it's going to do some harassment. I do love herO's choice, a much smarter choice to go for the gold. Take the risk, because you got to take risk at this point. Okay, there was a medevac, I guess, because I heard a feedback.
Yeah, I think it was the one that had the 2 Widow Mines from earlier.
Okay.
So I agree. You gotta make something happen. You can't just play a standard game behind this being behind. So taking the gold base, it's a risk that I think will pay off. I don't think there's a lot of ways INnoVation is going to scout this. And well, INnoVation is not classically a cocky player. When you're finally making that comeback and in such a big way, you might not be thinking to check another base. You might think like, okay, he's being stubborn and not dying.
herO did stall out his upgrades to defend that push, but started them almost immediately once he realized it was okay. Put Chrono Boost into it, so he'll have 2-2 over 1-1. That is his only advantage. Nothing in the probes, nothing in the army, nothing in even Splash, because he never got Storm. Don't know if upgrade's gonna be good. Is he faking Storm, or does he realize he never got it? Does he think he has Storm? Oh no.
Maybe just hoping for feedbacks. It wouldn't matter because he gets EMP'd unless that was just to bait out the EMPs. herO might be sick enough to try and do that. He's a madman after all, but I don't know if that's enough. The Widow Mines! Oh god, the Widow Mines! That's it. Not a chance. 104 army supply at 24. herO is done for, but man, hell of a game to lose with. I gotta be honest, he is fighting to the last, and he's at some points made it look doable.
If he hadn't lost 10 probes so early on, I think this is a herO game, in fact. GG.
G. Bloody G. INnoVation starts fighting back. Now, of course, if you guys aren't keeping up to date with what's going on, you're just tuning in from the front page. First off, again, hello and good morning. But this is a best of 7. We are in the grand finals of finals. There's no losers match. There's no nothing. This is it. And the score is currently 2-1 in the favor of herO.
Cool.
All right, here, I'll let you dealer's choice here. We've got the Viewbot robot voice. I've got my terrible budget auto-tune. Or I could try out something else. How do I shout out these 2 subs?
Chipmunk voice.
Chipmunk voice. I can't. It's so bad. All right. I can't. I know what I want to say, but I'm trying not to laugh while I do. Okay.
I want to give a big chipmunk welcome to Threat Level Purple and Renegade Sheep. Thank you for the prime subs!
I can't even hear it, and I know how bad that sounded.
Oh my gosh.
Blame Zombie Up, guys. Also,
not sure if we got it, but Apparition 101.
thank you very much for the subs, fam. Also, I haven't been updating this counter at all. Where are we at? We're actually at 33. 1,033 out of 1,050 for the goal. Nice climb. Of course, it's just like an artificial goal. We were having a lot of fun during DreamHack doing the one more. I felt bad because some people really didn't get the joke, and like one of the people who subbed, I will leave them nameless, they got very upset in messages afterwards. I only subscribed to help you because like I thought we were achieving a goal together, and I'm just like, look, and I'm gonna say it now for everybody watching, right? If you're gonna sub to the channel, do it with the idea that you're supporting the channel and just enjoy benefits that come outside of it. Anything else, it's on you. I don't know what to say.
It's not like it was a goal. I mean,
it was.
You're
We're
not lying.
one sub away, and we just increased the goal by 1 sub.
yeah, I don't know.
And you blame Beastie Cutie. He ruined it. He made it a thing. Should never have been a thing in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have my lid on while I did that shaker. God damn it. All right. I've made a mess of my desk. 10 out of 10. That's okay. It appears, I guess, are we taking a commercial break? Should we? Where's INnoVation at? This is taking like this lobby forever. INnoVation does take breaks semi-frequently, so if he doesn't join soon... Oh, there we go, he's fine with us, okay. I really didn't want to go to commercial, it's just like, if he's not going to be here for 5 minutes, we might as well type thing.
Mm.
You can probably hear that plane going over. Nice. You know what's awesome actually about my place I live is if you... I don't know if the plane actually came through on stream or not, but if I have my doors open, the planes are so bloody loud. You think like, how could anyone live in this area? But like if I shut my doors, you don't hear them at all. Like the soundproofing in this building, I don't know. Someone always tell me it has something to do with like the way they do pressure and the air ventilation helps with it. It's because I'm like, how does a pane of glass soundproof this well? It's amazing.
Layers. Windows have layers.
Okay. Alright, thank you, Caught Life, for the 9-month resub. Get good! Love the Tampa WCS stream. Do the voice! No. See you guys in Catalyst. Welcome back, folks. We're getting to game number 4 in this best of 7. Once more, the score will always be displayed down here in the bottom left by the mini-map. The top left side, of course, we have the Terran player fighting for his life. It's INnoVation.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, he is herO. So, I think this like pretty much sums up the chipmunk voice, which I asked for, and I'm not taking back. It was the perfect amount of disgusting. Someone says, where is it? Where is it? I actually just thanked him for saying it. Boptimus Prime, that's who it is, says, it sounds like what the new Oracle skin looks like, and I think that's a very apt description.
I would love, you know, we got all these voice packs in StarCraft for the casters and personalities. When are we gonna get them for the units, right? Oracle proceeding! Just like all high pitched and fast.
The new Oracle is really dumb.
It's just, you know, I don't think it would look so weird if Context wasn't the last Oracle skin they put out. It was massive, big, and spiky. It's like just a naked Oracle. It's almost like the T model for like anything.
Yeah. It is like a naked Oracle. Oh, you know what would be really cool? So, I was gonna go with a troll.
Ice cube.
Shut up. I was gonna go with a troll.
Whoa,
oh my god,
whoa.
he brought 2 probes.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
herO is such a dick. I can't believe he's done this. He's forced the command center on the high ground with the second probe.
That is so worth a 2nd probe. Oh my god.
I don't know what I'm more upset about. The fact that this just worked, quote unquote, or that he did it in the first place.
God, I'm more upset in the first place. So it should have been 2 probes for a Reaper too, but he thinks he's being clever with the probe placement. No. Oh god. Okay.
I hate herO so much. Oh my god. This combined with that recall from earlier, it's like cheeky dick.
Yeah. I was gonna say what would be cool is if they took a stalker and like kind of like maybe it was like a destroyed stalker, so it showed some of like the dead Dark Templar in it. That'd actually be kind of a sick looking skin.
Oh, like a half open zombie stalker.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Because the insides of it are pretty cool. I know they're the Dragoon. That was literally its profile picture. You saw like. Or no, it wasn't the Dragoon. It was somewhat. Was it what's his face? Phoenix. I think it was Phoenix's profile picture. You saw him in the Dragoon.
Yeah, it's like the fluid or whatever. Yo, hear me out. Cool. Hear me out on this idea for a skin, okay? This is like a patch themed skin.
Okay.
Every Terran unit, not on the actual unit, but on their portrait, just has band-aids all over them.
So the injured theme.
No, because the patch is the band-aid. Never mind.
Oh, patch. Oh, I get it. Oh, I was gonna call it the Boo Boo theme, but now I get it.
The Boo Boo. It's like Yogi Bear's little sidekick. Hey, hey, Boo Boo.
The Medivacs, like you got some Boo Boos.
I want me some picnic baskets and Medivacs.
Yogi the Bear is like a European accent.
Can we get actually like? Oh my god, I'd be so annoyed so quick. But in theory, a Yogi Bear announcer would be amazing.
So Stajo is the DreamHack admin and he's Swedish and he has a very like distinct Swedish accent. So this is not Swedish in general, but it's Stajo, okay, specifically. We realize that Stajo's accent is just a really, really slow Italian.
I can see it. I can hear it.
Instead of it's a me, Stajo, it's a me, Stajo. Oh, we're having such fun. You said we were bullies.
I want to actually I just think more of silly voice packs. I want like a Shaggy from Scooby-Doo voice pack. That'd be the greatest. Like your units under attack and like your zoinks. Yeah. Like, let's get out of here, Scoob. Start boosting away the medivac.
So good. Okay. What happened in this game?
Not much other than that weird command center being lifted on the high or built on the high ground. herO has actually I say not much, but he's actually changed up his build quite a bit. So we've seen Stargate play pretty consistently, and it's been working. So it's like no reason to really change it other than preference, and he's gone for a fast robo. Now this is another unit we haven't given a lot of credence to, because while we assume this will be a Colossus, disruptors have apparently become usable again. I'm not quite sure I understand the changes. We'll have to see it in action, to be honest, but it can't be worse than what they were before, from what I understand.
I was trying to remember what they were. All I remember is that they can no longer do the drop micro, which is the most important thing for me. I'll look at it in a second. So Stalkers get dropped in here. They never should be able to do very much, and in fact, this was so risky. Marines had stim. They would have gotten under that pretty quickly. But the Disruptor, its pause duration is reduced. Wait. Initial pause duration. What does that mean?
See, this is what I'm saying. Like reading it and not being a Protoss user, I don't understand the actual patch changes to the Disruptor.
I don't know what that means. Then it goes into what I think is important, was the drops from the transport. It's not on cooldown. There'll be a 0.7 second pause for able to use it. And then range indicators will be displayed for Purification Nova. When the Protoss player
not sure what that means.
When the Protoss player selects it, it looks like a... you can see the range.
Oh, like siege tank and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I could figure that one out, but I don't get the initial pause duration one. Maybe chat can explain better. Oh, maybe we'll see it one day, but not today, because it's Colossus.
Also, someone in chat asked you what the prize pool for this. Reiterating, there is a $250 first place prize and a $150 second place prize that they're currently competing for. And this prize pool is made possible by not some corporate sponsor or company, but actually not even by subscribers to the channel or anything like that. This is a tournament run by Olimoleague through the Olimoleague Patreon, patreon.com/Olimoleague if you guys want to check it out. Like, if this isn't the third year, it's like coming up on the fourth. It's been around for a long time, and this always has been crowdfunded, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, it is. Scan goes down, sees that herO does have an expansion, but does not see the Colossus. They are now moving on over.
If this was just one, maybe not a problem, but it's two with a third one coming out very soon. Charge lots aren't done for the attack, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think between Force Fields and Guardian Shield, herO should be able to hold this base.
I believe so.
You poor Zealot. You poor Zealot.
Right?
Jukes.
Almost perfectly. So the Colossus, I do believe, are a surprise for INnoVation. He's not really reacting super strongly to them. Oh, Jesus. No second starport, still just producing as much bio as possible. And this is something you can do against Colossus, but then you have to hope to find a concave, which is really hard on Catalyst. Well, I don't know, INnoVation. I don't know.
Well, drop towards the main was scanned. He sees the Colossus. He wants to just drag and drop on top of it, Maru style, but not going to happen. Meanwhile, the splits were herO. herO does respond. Ooh, Widowmine's going to go off on Zealots.
Okay, that was pretty good. A couple of more force fields come down, though, and the Colossus is wrecking. Medevac's trying to go through the middle-ish, but that's a pretty good split from herO.
Yeah, the sentries also got picked off there towards the end. A couple Marauder shots, and Marines did that. herO's having trouble splitting now. He really wants to consolidate his forces. You can see that as he keeps trying to drag them all to the main, but heads back to his third, heads back to his main. Once again, has to dodge through these Widowmines to get some damage in on this army. Third base still stands, though. And INnoVation is 2 bases all in.
Yeah, I do think this is how Terrans have looked at taking on the Protoss matchup, even though this has been the new change and blah, blah, blah. If they couldn't make it with a macro game, which INnoVation tried at least twice, they go into the 2 base all in. So if this went all 7 games, I would believe the rest of the game would be 2 base all in. But I don't believe it's going to work here. Medevacs are going to go down. So much supply was in there.
Oh, this was huge for herO. That was a really big pick off on, well, not just one, but two very important medevacs. The Mana Mule used in the strangest of ways to tap out. herO now puts INnoVation on match point, meaning INnoVation cannot lose any more games or he's out. We are, however, going to take a commercial break because it's been about half an hour since our last one. So we'll be gone for 2 minutes. And when we get back, possibly the last game. We'll see you guys soon. Okay, folks, it's game 5 and possibly the last game. He's on his very last life to the top left, fighting for everything now. It's INnoVation.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is herO.
Cheeky probe. We'll see if a second one joins it. I now realize that maybe some questions about the prize pool. I forget sometimes, hey, front page, maybe some people don't really know about StarCraft, and you just know these players, but from really big tournaments like GSLs and IEMs and things like that. You might be wondering why on earth are INnoVation and herO playing in some rando weekly little cup rinky-dink thing like this, but the reality is these guys have been probably some of the most consistent players over the last year and a half of the 3 years that the Olimoleague's been around. They also will compete in pretty much anything we throw, which is kind of cool. So like, hey, BTSL's got a $100 prize pool. You'll see herO there. You'll see Zest there. You'll see INnoVation there. Like, the best players just play the game as much as they can. If they can get money for it, even better.
Yeah, that is the way of things. And believe it or not, took some time to convince, I think. And even now, a lot of pro gamers would say, no, playing in tournaments for money while I'd still be practicing is not as good as just practicing. But yeah, for the most part, every Korean signs up for every Korean weekly.
I still always go back to that thing Snoot said, and even if Snoot, because practice what you preach, not quite the case for him more recently, but I feel like Snoot had it best, where he's like, people are going to be playing. he does it again. He's so cheeky. People are going to be playing better and more seriously when there's money on the line than they ever would in a ladder match, and that's the best kind of practice. That's even better than just asking to scrim with somebody for like 13 games in a row. Like, it's not an opportunity easily ascertained, but when there's 250 bucks on the line, you're playing very different than for 5 MMR.
Yeah, whatever it is. So we have a Stargate opener from herO, which he's gone back to. He did that the first 2 games, remember? And it worked out pretty well for multiple reasons. And again, coincidentally, INnoVation goes for 3CC, herO goes to the Stargate opener. This is when I liked it the most, and it is a game that herO won, after all, because he's already on match point. But I want to bring this up because I remember wanting to bring it up. You had asked about what movies I watched, because I watched movies on the plane, and I said I couldn't remember the last one. Battle of the Sexes, right? That's the one I was trying to think of. Do you remember a couple months ago, I wanted to watch it, but my mom didn't want to go see it?
No, but I'm just rolling my eyes really hard at the name of the movie, but go on.
It's actually really cool, right? Because it was based off of a real thing, and this guy is actually kind of funny. But anyways, I wanted to watch it with my mom. Like, I thought it had some of my favorite actors and actresses, right? And it's very interesting. I wasn't there in the 70s or 80s, whatever it was, when it happened. My mom didn't want to watch it. I was like, damn. I watched it on the plane, Rifkin, and I'm so glad I didn't watch it with my mom, because the first 45 minutes is just about her being a lesbian and her relationships of the sexual nature. So I was like, this would have been so uncomfortable. Thank God. It was a good movie.
I did make a similar mistake. Ooh, with a friend of mine, totally platonic girlfriend that I know. She and I were gonna check out the Masters of Sex show. Not quite sure if the title was gonna be exactly what it was, but okay, yeah, there was a lot of sex and nudity in it. And granted, okay. I was okay with it because I got the biggest crush on Lizzie Kaplan, right? But yeah, that's you have those shows where you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have watched this with another human being. Well,
okay, that seems like maybe because Battle of the Sexes is always, it's not about sex.
Like, no, but it's just like the uncomfortable, like you didn't expect that scene of that variety, whether it was,
of course.
Like. Anyways,
it's always when the one time in the movie there's a sex scene, your parents walk in there.
Well, more like anytime I watch anime, 99% is cool, and once someone walks in the room, oh, it's an upskirt shot. Oh, yeah. All right, anyways, totally off topic. We got a lot of things starting to happen here. The Oracles, had they been able to get in here, I'm not even concerned about the killing SCVs. They might have been able to pick off Stim, which could have been devastating, but herO doesn't find the opening to send the Adepts in, so there's no distraction tactic here, and these Oracles were limited in use from the get-go. But I was also expecting a gateway to come down, but he threw a third base instead.
I like that idea much better. I think this was maybe even what he wanted to do, and if there wasn't a bunker put down, he would have warped in a couple more Adepts, but it's not really doable. But I love that herO has the faster third Nexus again. He scouts, so this ends up being a very safe move. So he's kind of free, quote unquote, for a while to do whatever he wants. Chronos Tech, Chrono Probes, add, like, whatever he wants. Because he knows what the build is. He's perfect scouting, and he's going to be able to match it. INnoVation gets not very far ahead because he was greedy. He gets even because he was greedy.
Well, as the Oracles continue to live, not complacently flying over Marines, I look back at home and we saw that their Templar Archives is coming up. So the splash damage choice is going to be Templar. I really liked, was it Neon Violet Square? We saw the Storm Drops. Those are always really cool to see, and I'm hoping we'll see more of that out of herO.
I was disgusted.
Yeah.
So many mules.
Yeah, 3 bases set up. I guess the key difference in this game versus the ones we've been seeing is INnoVation not sticking on 2 bases, not going for a big all-in. I mean, you said it, like that's how for a time Terran felt like was the only way to play against Protoss. I'm not sure if that's the case for the new patch. Time will tell. But I'm not surprised the trend carried over one day into the new patch.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that even though he lost the big macro games, those were still the best games from INnoVation so far.
Yeah, and it's not like they weren't doable for him. They weren't really that close either, but they were definitely doable for a guy like INnoVation. But skipping Ghosts, getting Stasis Trapped, like those are just really, really unfortunate things that happen in the long macro games. But INnoVation he might have gone for third CC. He's really playing quite defensive. I mean, the first bunker made sense, but this bunker is quite scared. I don't know what he's expecting, perhaps a charge lot all in, and oh well, I guess that is what happened, wasn't it? The charge lots came forward and got dropped everywhere, and he couldn't defend all his bases. I'm
looking at this scouting. He hasn't seen the pylon up here, but he's seen the one down here. Now he's gonna realize there's 2 pylons. Okay. This awkwardly made supply block here, by the way. 2 pylons go down, maybe?
Almost.
Storm drops do come into play. Pick off quite a few SCVs. Maybe not that many mules, not quite the money that we've seen before, but that was really effective out of herO because he does get out alive.
He does. Yeah. Now herO grabs a 4th base. He did not go for double forge, so INnoVation is kind of winning in that greedy aspect. But I love that INnoVation goes for a Ghost Academy too. herO almost guaranteed. It's actually not. Obviously, he went Colossus last game, but more likely going to go for Charge Storm in these games, and INnoVation has just countered them appropriately.
Well, this is where I really like the Ghosts. A, so I don't have to hear you complain about it again. B, they will be effective versus the Zealot. I'm sorry. They will be effective versus the Zealots, and of course, removing those storms.
They're not here yet.
Cool, feedback's nice. Feedback's a really nice ability. You see how it used up so much energy that they can no longer storm? Wait.
I had to figure that. I had to figure the complaint in that one. There is a War Prism in the main base, though, and INnoVation was entirely distracted.
He does have a medevac worth of units, but it's not worth unloading. They're all almost dead. This, of course, still has the pressure on the right side. INnoVation being pushed on 2 different fronts. And he's not taking game-ending damage, but this was seriously problematic. Still is, frankly. He gets supply blocked badly by this wall going down as herO walks away.
If there weren't a couple Wooded Mines and 2 Liberators, that was really the army defending the 3rd base. That 3rd base has been lifted. The SCVs are dead. Like, it's not so little damage done, but herO saved most of his army, saved the Warp Prisms, that's always going to be a threat, and also is, buying time for his upgrades, because they were very far behind. He just put all of his Chrono Boost into the 2nd Forge that finished, so 2-2 is now going to match INnoVation's. Good.
Well, I gotta tell you, the Ghost changed this up in so many different ways. I really don't know how to measure how this will go for herO. Because in every other game we've seen where he didn't have ghosts, same composition, same style of fights, I think hero's still gonna win out, whether it's upgrades or not. But now that he has EMPs, you know, that's gonna remove all the shields from the Zealots that charge in, so Widow Mines can take him out pretty quickly. Archons obviously go down faster. I mean, it's a lot of damage that gets done instantly. I mean, I'm not gonna be one to compare apples and oranges here, but at least on like Storms, it happens right away. You don't have to wait for it to tick for 2 seconds.
Oh, those Liberators. Oh my god, no. Oh, well, those AMPs. That blanketed the entire army, so that made up for the Liberators not being siege and running into Stalkers. But the main.
He's got a Storm ready to go for that ramp too. He knows units have to funnel in. Oh my god! Storm is, it's a nice tool to have. It really is.
That's cool. That's alright.
That's pretty nice. It's alright. Yeah, the Archon's still doing a lot of work too. Cleans this up. 18 kills on this bad boy. Zealots have removed most of the add-ons, so this is super annoying not being able to produce that many ghosts, that many Marines. Like, he's just got to rebuild all the add-ons as well. Pushes into the 4th base while this goes on simultaneously, but not enough to kill it. And herO keeps the pressure strong. Meanwhile, he has saturated his base. He's continued to expand. He's done really well back on his side of the field, and I gotta give it to him. Like, INnoVation's put up a hell of a fight. This is nobody is winning this game concretely yet, but herO is not letting off the pressure.
You're right, and yet I do feel like herO is winning. INnoVation, I mean, expanding during this, of course losing the expansion now was a lot. Kudos. But
GG.
INnoVation even admits that it's game over. Oh my, he had 102 supply and he was like, this is it. Not even gonna bother.
I don't blame him. The tilt factor was probably very real. But congratulations to herO with the 4-1 victory, as he'll be the first Olimoleague champion of 2018. I'm glad it was him and not some, like, because I would, like, if you watch some no-name Protoss tier 5 player defeat INnoVation in the finals, you're like, okay, Protoss is pretty nice. But, like, herO did that pretty masterfully. Like, I really liked watching herO win those games, and normally I'm a little bit salty when I watch Protoss win.
Yeah. Well, every time it was something that I look at and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I couldn't do that. Whereas some other times when the biggest complaint about, and it is a lot of the times Protoss, not gonna lie, it's kind of its history, is that might have taken some skill, but I think I could have done that. I never say that about herO.
Yeah, here's War Prisms, man. That's like, that is 100% pure skill. Either way, guys, thank you for joining us on the stream today. If you are going to take off, have a wonderful day. If you're going to stick around for a few minutes, we'll talk a little bit. We'll say our goodbyes. We'll talk about tomorrow's tournament, because we got a real big one coming up tomorrow, and we'll find somebody to host. So sit tight. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hey guys, we're back. So thanks for watching that last set of ads. So before I do our boring goodbyes and jump into things, I want to talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, we got the 2 vs 2 tournament grand finals I had been talking about, and I'm very excited to see how those play out. We've seen so many times where nerchio and Beastie seem to just like auto win. We'll see if that ends up being the case, but a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. All of it's going to be going down at 10 a.m. Pacific. I am now actually just aware that I don't think I have that on the Team Liquid calendar, so I should probably go add that later. But yeah, the 2v2 grand finals is over $1,000. It's been crowdfunded for the most part. We had some sponsorship coming from Brian. A lot of cool stuff to make that happen. But it's also going to mark some of the last free style tournaments we have, I guess you could say. Because with the BTSL starting up, it is going to consume all of our time for like 2 to 3 months. And I'm very excited for that. But yeah, we're winding down, winding up, however you want to look at it. January's coming to an end, and tomorrow will be the send-off for it. But like I said, February gets big. So for every Korea morning time broadcast on Mondays, that'll be myself and Maynard. Zombie will be joining me for the more like afternoon, evening casts for the other Korean side of things, and Wardy will be joining me for the European casts for the midday stuff. And I think it's gonna give us a nice, I don't know, variety on the channel. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well, and hope you support everybody who does come on. But yeah, that's pretty much the what's coming up. We'll get the events tab. Well, the events tab actually does have a lot of events in it right now. We'll get it updated fully and entirely though. So if you guys aren't already using it, make sure to use the events tab here on Twitch. Before we go to the Zombie Up, coolest story from Leipzig. Go. This shouldn't be such like an on-the-spot thing.
There's really not that many cool stories. They didn't really do very much except hang out with people, drinking some beers, never getting full drunk. We were always at the hotel or the convention center because we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like really trying to think of what the coolest story is.
Oh, was it like nothing to explore? Because I mean, I just remember you said you were trying to take German lessons and stuff before going, so I assumed you were like going off on your own or something.
We went into the city twice and just to eat. And that was it. So no cool stories from that. I mean, I had fun. There were some like cool stories shared between friends, but that.
Those are the on the nose. You don't share those on stream stories. I know those stories. Gotcha. Well, I was hoping to hear something fun, some cool story. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Zombie's actually got a lot she's going to be doing. Hopefully you don't get too sick or too overworked because you're doing stuff later today, right?
Yeah, guys, I'll be casting the Ballistics Brawl, which is going to be a weekly tournament for the foreseeable future, like a very long time, on Tuesday nights, 11 p.m. EST, so like very odd schedule, but it was a blast last year, and I'm glad that they're back and doing it again. So you can catch me there, and then I'm also going to be streaming, so twitch.tv/zombiegrub, Twitter/CG Gaming, whatever, like...
Just to clarify too, for those who don't know, it's not something BaseTradeTV covers. It's just ZombieGrub doing it on a different channel on their own thing. Just so you guys don't come here expecting it. Like, where is it?
Yeah, I guess to be extra clear, it's been on twitch.tv/ballistics. So not even on my channel either, just a different one.
Of course, for me, guys, I've just recently, some of you joined me for stream to watch the shit show that was setting up my VR headset, but I should be doing some VR streams on my channel in a little bit. So hopefully later today. I'm pretty tired though. These morning casts, they always, I don't know, my body's like, yo, you got to nap after the cast. So gonna get some sleep, gonna catch some Z's. Maybe I'll be back in the afternoon, do some VR streams. I'm actually really stoked to do some VR chat because I already played a bunch without the VR headset. Now I got hands. Worst use of money in my entire life, I swear to God. But make sure you guys are following the channel if you enjoy StarCraft 2. We're always doing StarCraft 2. Might even be trying to do a PUBG thing in February, but that's TBD for now because like I said, our full focus is on the BTSL and making sure this first season goes well. But with the plane going overhead, hopefully you guys can hear me, and we'll send off here. So not sure who we're gonna host, not sure who we're gonna raid, but give them some love, be polite, and have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care.